Kept you waiting, huh? Hey there, everybody. It's back again for the King's Court. I'm your host, Michael, lovable thick boy of the King's Court. And as of last week, I think it was last week. I could be wrong. I think it was a few days ago. Sorry for that. I kind of can't remember off the top of my head. BT16, Beginning Observer, did finally drop and was released. And as you know, one of the decks I was excited for the most in that set was TyrantKabuterimon. So, after some help from some friends, such as Proc, if you're watching this, you're the MVP. Pudis, if you watch this too, you're also MVP. In fact, you're probably the biggest MVP. You're the real MVP. Pulling that Rapid X after Proc left, which was funny. But anyway, so thanks to them, I was basically able to finish TyrantKabuterimon yesterday. Haven't got a chance to test it yet, but I had, test it IRL. I have tested and theory crafted around it while I was researching the deck. So I thought we'd pull up a deck profile. So before we begin, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications so you know when we upload daily, or consistently at least. Also, while you're down there, why don't you take a little peek at our social medias? Link will be down below in the description box. So, and question of the day, Tamers. What are you going to be playing in this new format of BT16? Are you going to play Imperial Dramon and get ready for the the Ace coming in the next set? Are you going to play Magnamon X and watch as people have to try to deal with one of the best cards in the game? Are you going to play Tyrant as well? Are you playing Dorugora for Collision? Things like that. Let us know down below, and let us know what new decks you're also waiting for as well. A lot of things. Or let us know if you want to see gameplay of certain decks. We're always welcome to suggestions and helping, and of course, seeing everything as it is. So, let's get into the deck profile. So, for our eggs, we are running 4 copies of BT16 Motimon. Easy, end of turn. If this Digimon has Insectoid in its traits, you may attack an opponent's Digimon. This will mean you basically can always end your turn before with a suspended Tyrant, which means you're unaffected by effects. Which is actually very good to know if you're playing against an opponent who drops a Death X, because you can swing, you can trigger end of turn, swing with this because you have the priority to activate end of turn, swing, and then trigger TyrantKabuteri, and then now Death X should trigger, but since you're suspended, you'll be unaffected by Death X's effect. So, good to know. Finding little loops around is what you really want to do, and that's the one I found. Sorry, just getting all the cards I need. There we go. Alright, let's start our rookies. Sorry about that. Just a little mixed up on everything. Jesus, I am all out of sorts today. Alright, we're good to go. So for our rookies, first off, we're playing 2 copies of Ukomon from BT16. Once per turn, when one of your Digimon promotes, reveal the top of the cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card or a Tamer to your hand, put the rest at the bottom. This is for consistency's sake. You're okay Digivolving him back and then promoting this out. And excuse me, Digivolving another rookie in the back, putting this out turn 1. And if your opponent doesn't out it, you're going +1 at least, because you're bringing out something, and then this starts a chain. So, really good. I haven't been able to I've used the other Ukomon, so using this Ukomon will be but this will let you get into, say, an Ace, get you into your Izzy. Spoiler, we're playing Izzy because Izzy's still a great tamer for this deck. And it's a little cutie, even if, he's done dark things. 2 copies of Terriermon. One from, of course, I have my one double Typhoon Cup one. Your opponent can't gain memory by effects, except by Tamers. Really good. This can stop certain effects. I would say this. Probably in the mirror, I would prefer Pomumon. I would probably do a 1/1 split Pomu and Terrier, or maybe replace something else. Because being able to have this means Tyrant can't pop another body out. And in green, if you win the board control, you're gonna win the game. So good to know. But yeah, Terrier's fine. If you play this and they have memory boosts out, you can just plop this on the field and watch them have to deal with it. Four copies of TyrantKabuterimon. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Insectoid trait among your hand. Put the rest at the bottom. Pretty good searcher. Does anyone else feel this should be the Flamemon or Strongmon equivalent of the Beetlemon line? I feel it is. That's just me. And of course, inheritable. While the Digimon is suspended, it gets 1k. This makes your Tyrants 15. This makes your Hercules Kabuterimon 13. Grand Quagmon 13, you know. So it helps out. It stacks up a lot. And you're going to notice how this deck wants to be pretty big, pretty strong. One Kunemon. So Kunemon is a pretty decent card. You can plop it down and then suspend it, and it'll look at the top 3 cards. And then you basically add a green card among them and put the rest at the bottom. Yeah, so put it to the bottom, and then this is suspended. I would say this is probably one of the easier cards if you don't have something turn 1. If you don't have like anything else and you have this in your hand, dropping this turn 1 to suspend it and get something else at least equalizes it, and then if this survives, you get a free swing with it. If you don't want to play Kunemon, you could actually just max out on 4 copies of BT16 Tentomon. Start of the main phase, suspend a Digimon when your Digimon gets 3k if they have Insectoid in their traits. And then once per turn, all turns, when it deletes a Digimon in battle, gain 1 memory. So this is really good. If you haven't bought them yet, they are $15 per copy for a reason. This is probably one of the best rookies for this deck, because you will just stack up DP consistently and be big enough that your opponent really can't out you. And if that happens, you should win the game just based on pressure. Like I said, if you're playing green, if you win the board control battle, you're going to do fine. And that's kind of the thing green wants to do. I mean, Bloomlord swarms the field, and if you don't out their field and they have a Bloomlord swinging at like 19k with 4 checks, yeah, you're going to have a tough time winning that game at that point. Or if Rosemon gets on you and they just able to burst mode and Rosemon X, you're not having a good time, and then they Quartzmon on you or Quantumon, it's not a good time. It's not for me, Chief. But yeah. So, Tentomon just helps you get around your DP and lets you gain back memory, which is really good. Especially because end of turn, you attack, say with Tyrant, and you run over something, you're able to gain your DP back all the way up, which is pretty good. That's it for our rookies. I believe we run 1, 2, 3, 4. We run 12 rookies. It's not a bad lineup. Like I said, you can Digivolve Uko and back, but I wouldn't. Just because you want to have it in hand for its effects. Alright, now we're going to go into our level 4s, or excuse me, our champions. You know, Digimon are the champions, after all. So the first 4 of us are 4 copies of our new Blade Quagmon from BT15 or BT16. It has the rule, it is a trait. Insectoid. On player when Digivolving, when your Digimon gets 3k DP at the end of your opponent's turn. So combined with this and the Tento, this is 10k already. And then once the Digimon is suspended, it gets another 1k. So if you're swinging at 11k already. That's pretty good, honestly. And for 2 costs, good to Digivolve. And again, you just keep it in the back turn 1 if you're not prepared for, if you're not ready to go. You can replace certain cards. So, for example, for our other level 4s, we are running 4 copies of BT16 Kabuterimon. While it's suspended, it's unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects, which is really good for being able to keep your opponent from having pressure on you. It's pretty good. And just lets you just get ready to ace. And then, of course, when you delete Digimon in battle, gain memory. All player's turn. So, if you have promo Kawagamon, you could cut 1 and then, but if I'll be playing 2 if I had them, but I do not. So I would cut this. So I would play BT. I'm playing BT3 Stigmon instead. I don't have promo Kawagamon. So, but if you did have them, I would cut down to 3 Kabuteri and then cut this out for promo Kawagamon, but again, don't have it. And then Stigmon's good if you just want to get your line going up and just Digivolve for 1 into this. Put your opponent at 1, and if they drop a memory setter, you just go level 5, and then go ahead and go level 4, because you don't care, because you're setting up your field ready to go. And then your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, gain a memory. So, if you have this in Tento, you're gaining 2. Excuse me. And finally, because we need some pressure, we are playing the 1 Beetlemon. You can play Metal Kabuterimon if you want. I like Beetlemon because it is like Beetlemon. I understand that Metal Kabuterimon has a good effect. It suspends a 6k or less, but I've never come to that issue, so yeah, playing Beetlemon because I love the artwork and I prefer Beetlemon of the set. Not much to say about that. Sorry, that was my knuckle popping. I did not mean for that to happen. Alright. Let's go for our level 5s. For our first level 5s, we are playing 4 copies of the new MetLife Kawagamon. On player, when Digivolving, you may suspend one of your Digimon. You may spend 1 Digimon, then one of your Digimon gets 3k DP until the end of the turn. So, if you have it, you Digivolve this, you may suspend, then... So basically, if you have the Tento plus Blade plus this, that's 9k DP up. So this thing is suspended or going to be able to swing for about 16k. 17 because of Blade Kawagamon underneath. And then as an inheritable, once per turn, when a duelist Digimon declares attack, you may switch the target to attack to one of your suspended Digimon with the Insectoid trait. It is like Izzy, so that's really good. And the reason I like this sometimes maybe a little more than Izzy is because Izzy can be popped, like say Black War Greymon or anything to pop the Tamer, even in the mirror match. So having the MetLife, or MetaLife, I'm going to call it MetLife Stadium, MetaLife Kawagamon being able to redirect into you is much better, especially if they're using an ace. Plus, against like certain matches where they just stun your Tamers, you know, it kind of sucks. Two copies of Promo Okulamon. I do not have at the moment the the limited Argomon. If I did, I would replace 1 with it, but for this is pretty good. So, your turn. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Insectoid in its traits, all your opponent's Digimon gain all turns. When this Digimon becomes suspended, lose a memory. If you've played against Grindus, you know why this is annoying. And then all turns, then your turn, while this card has Insectoid, it gains Piercing. Pretty good. This gives your Tyrant pretty huge power. We are playing a few tech cards, so being able to suspend stuff really does make it work, and gaining back some memory. It's kind of a bit of a refund. And then our final 2 level 5s are 2 copies of Mega Kabuterimon Ace. If we drop Kabuterimon down with what do you call it? Tyrant, or we have a Kabuterimon suspended, being able to drop this, gain 3k, is pretty good. Or if we have Blade Kabuterimon, or Blade Kawagamon set suspended, and we drop this down, we gain 3k. from that. We gain 3K from this. We're at 10K. We're at 13K, 14K with this. You know, pretty good numbers to be at. And you want to hit numbers in this game right now just because, my opinion, Black War Greymon can still be a matchup that you might not be prepared for because how big it can get. Jesmon gets really huge. Magnamon can. If you go on the turn of Magnamon Digivolve, gain DP based on armors. And then Magnamon X. DP is a major thing now again, so if you have ability to get DP ups in your deck, you should probably consider playing them. Alright, that's it for our ultimates, and now for our megas, or level 6s. Still running 2 copies of TyrantKabuterimon. It is still such a good card. Being able to be unaffected by effects while suspended is really good, as long as they're Digimon effects. If they are Tamer or option cards, out of luck, but unlucky, but we play this game, we're not always lucky. You should know that. Shout out to all my friends who wish that Aizmon would die in security so they can draw, or all the times they don't hit on Diamond. You know who you are. And then, suspend, gain piercing. Pretty good is when digivolving and once on during the main phase, so. And because, like, the only card that can out our Tyrant and most of our cards, we are playing 1 copy of Shivamon. Being able to play Shivamon in this deck is pretty good. And being able to just go, okay. If I can drop Shivamon down, and if it's suspended, all we did about suspended, your opponent can use option cards. And then when it unsuspends, during my unsuspend phase, trash top card opponent's security. So if you're able to, you drop something that can be suspended. Like, say, so you drop Tyrant, you drop something that can be suspended. And then you drop this, and then you swing with Tyrant. This is suspended, the Tyrant is suspended. So all your Digimon are suspended. And then your opponent can't really out your Tyrant because this is on the field. They have to out this. And if you have MetLife Kawagumon underneath, something like, say, your Tyrant, they can't, or you have Izzy, they can't out it because you're going to redirect into Shivamon, or it could be into TyrantKabuterimon or your other big bug. And they cannot technically out this. And since they can't play option cards, note that does not stop the delay effects of cards. It just says they cannot play options from hand. It basically means they can't activate options from hand, but you can still play the delay effect. So don't get sharked and don't shark people. You can still activate your delays. You just can't play the options from hand. Yeah, that makes sense. Still a good card. Two copies of Grand Kawagumon Ace. So either you're digivolving from a Dino Beamon or level 5 when Sectoid is trade for 3. Last digivolve. On player when digivolving, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Cards that suspended by this effect can't unsuspend. So think Rosemon, something like that. Then I delete one of their Tamers, so this can help out deleting a memory setter. This can delete... If you're playing against Hunters, this can out their saves cards, so it's pretty good. And then your turn, when this Digimon becomes suspended, you can get one of your Digimon gains Security Act +1. So if you have MetLife and Blade underneath this, or excuse me, you have Blade Kawagumon does 13k, 2 checks. And if you have any other DP ups, this is pretty good. The overflow is 4 though, so be careful. And finally, can I get a drum roll? For the big daddy of the deck, 4 copies of TyrantKabuterimon, the King of Bugs, the final rider form if you want to be technical. So you can digivolve for 6 on top of level 6 with and a play cost of 13 of 2 or more. So basically that means you can digivolve on top of your Hercules. You can't digivolve on top. You can't digivolve on top your a lot of your bugs. So you just digivolve in this on top of your level 5s for 6. Woo! For 6 costs, this thing is hefty to come out. So when Digivolving, you may play one Digimon card with the Insectoid or Larva trait from your hand, and the play cost reduced by 8, so most cases free. And then all turns, while this Digimon is suspended, it isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. And then this is the big effect. End of turn once per turn by suspending one of your other Digimon. Return one of your opponent's Digimon cards with as much or less DP as the Digimon suspended to the bottom of the deck. Alright, so remember how I said there's a funny combo you can do? So, with that effect in mind, we Evo into Tyrant. And we use the effect, play this for 4 memory. So we give our opponents a lot of memory. But then we play out Shiva. End of turn, we swing with Tyrant because we have the effect. So end of turn, we trigger suspend Shiva so we can bounce something, even if we have nothing to bounce. And then end of turn, trigger Moti. Swing with Tyrant. They have a lot of memory, but now they can't use option cards to play something because all of our Digimon are now suspended. So we have both our Digimon suspended, it's unaffected, and you can't drop option cards against this. So they could Death X for a lot of memory, drop Death X, but they can't swing with it. And they can play Tamers, but okay, Tamers are not going to do much in the setup. Because basically every turn, and then they'll end their turn, we'll unsuspend. This will trash the security. We'll swing with this, or we won't even swing with it. We'll swing with Tyrant, suspend itself, or we'll just play other cards and then end of turn, suspend, and then suspend with Tyrant using Motimon to swing, and opponent's Digimon. As long as they have Digimon, we can do everything. They do have to be suspended because I believe you do not have access to attacking suspended Digimon. So just note, as long as your opponent doesn't play around the Tyrant effect and Tyrant's ability to attack Tamers or attack suspended Digimon, you basically lock, and it's a ticking time bomb game. This is why I believe Tyrant is so good, and am really excited to play this deck because I love buggies. And now we'll do Tamers. 3 copies of the boy Izzy. He is a memory setter and basically analog man. Whenever your opponent declares an attack, you can suspend him to redirect to an Insectoid. It doesn't have to be level 6, it can just be any Insectoid. And the best part is, the way he does not have to be a direct attack like Analog Man does. It is when you attack anything. So, pretty good. If you saw my last deck profile, we have not changed our number of Izzy's being played. For option cards, I will note there is one. You'll see the one card in here that is being played as a tech because I do not have a certain card. First off, 1 copy of HPD. This card is still nuts and broken, and it's still in this game for whatever effing reason. If you have remember the same combo of using Tyrant to bring out Shiva. If you have Meta Life, Tyrant, and Shiva in hand, and you have this, play this, suspend the Meta Life. If you have Tyrant, play the Shiva for 4. So you do for 1. So you're playing 5 minutes. So you're playing Tyrant anyway. Then end of turn, suspend Shiva. Pretty good. And you don't even have to swing, so that's pretty decent. And security added to hand. If you don't know why this card is so good, so suspending a Digimon, the next time you Digivolve a green Digimon, or your green Digimon would Digivolve. Suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the cost by 5. So Tyrant for 1, essentially. Pretty good. Oh, this is, I believe, the reprinted artwork from BT11. I believe so. I always did like that artwork. 1 Shine of B. So Shine of B is a new option card. It is a one-of we're playing. If you want to play any other removal card, you could play Heaven's Judgment, you could play Giant Missile, Grandel Soul. I like this card. So you suspend 2, and then return all your opponent's suspended Digimon with the lowest DP to the bottom of the deck, and then all your Digimon gain 3k. So play this, and then end of turn, trigger Tyrant to attack. It's pretty good. And then security to activate the main effect. 1 copy of Super Shocker. We are playing Super Shocker because I do not have a 3rd copy of Agility Training. I thought I had a third one. I don't know what happened to it, so we're just playing the third. We're playing Super Shocker, so just heads up for that. Anyway, so Super Shocker lets us suspend at level 6 or lower to then give one of my Digimon 3k DP until the end of your opponent's turn, and then activate security, activate main. You activate the main effect, and then you add it to hand. So this makes your Tyrant essentially on your opponent's turn to hit security. You don't redirect. This makes your Tyrant like massive, even more than it already is. And then you play during your opponent's turn, suspend something, and then Tyrant's still massive. Again, we're focusing on Tyrant because Tyrant is basically our win condition, if you couldn't already guess. 2 agility training. You should know what trainings do by now. Look top 2, add a green card so you can even add the training, and then put the rest at the bottom. And delay, pop it. Your Digimon Digiwalls for a 2 cost less, so this lets you get up your chain quicker, which we need to do. Like I said, if you're gonna play this deck, if you have the third of this, play it. Same with I would like to mention, if I have the level 5 Argomon, or if you have it, play that over the second Okuamon, and then of course switch out the Kuwagamons. For Kuwagamon, from a Kuwagamon. This is not the most, I guess you would say, optimal list, but it's what I want to run. It's what I've tested a little bit by theory crafting, because I also understand that right now times are hard out here for Digimon players. So getting certain cards are still pricey and expensive. So little semi-budget alternatives help you out, but still you do need 3. I would say 3 of these are probably one of the most important cards. And then finally, 3 green memory boost. This is to make sure that we get our plays. We search this. And then, of course, gaining memory. Let me just put this right now. If you have the 3-3, I'm going to go back to that again. 3-3 of this is optimal because you want to basically search. If your opponent gives you a memory setter, or they just give you like 3 memory, playing 2 memory, playing this for 1, even though 1 is not bad. They give you 3 and you have 2 of these. Playing this and giving them 1 is still consistent. Look top 4, add a green Digimon, and then delay, pop, they gain 2 memories. So, yeah. So, overall, TyrantKabuterimon I feel is going to be one of the better decks of the format. Whether or not it will be the best of this format for BT16, I feel is kind of I feel it's an up in the air question. And I guess I'll explain why I feel that way. So, we still have Mirage Galgamon can be very good. While it may not be able to out this deck, well, it can because of Full Moon Meteor Impact. Black War Greymon might be able to stop early or get DP enough to probably equal Tyrant, but I don't think they have enough to do it. But, for Time Over Isaac, he's going to practice this. He'll probably learn the matchup by the time he's ready to give his opinions on the deck. Magna, I feel, is going to be a back and forth because Magnamon does play Heaven's Judgment. And because of Magna X, that's a 24k minus to your TyrantKabuterimon, which you're not getting 24k in most cases. And as a Machinedramon player, you guys know me. Right now, I do not believe Machinedramon has a consistent out. That's just me. I do not feel that way. I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but I haven't done enough testing against Tyrant with Machinedramon. Ironically enough, I've theory crafted that, but the idea is Tyrant is very good, but I do not believe it's the end all be all. I believe it's really good. Maybe if you splash in Paladin mode, Ace, and next set, it could be really good, but I don't think so. Yeah, I feel that's how this deck is. I feel it's gonna be very good. Actually, let us know down below. Do you like if we talk about what we think, how this deck will fit into the meta? Not really doing a tier list, but for deck profiles, we do Isaac does Black or Greymon, or we talk about Dorbic, or we do other decks that we've profiled on the channel. Would you like if we kind of talk about where we feel they need to be, where they at, are they really good, stuff like that? We want to, appease the fans and do a little more to kind of diversify content. So, but yeah, big buggy boys, like Big Bad Beetleborgs. Shout out if you remember that show. That show was nuts and had a very clever way of covering a actor replacement. Off-key tangent here, if you don't know, the girl got recast, And the episode before they recasted her, she was put under a spell that made her look different, and they couldn't reverse it, so they put another spell that everyone else will perceive her as the same as she was before when she got recasted. So basically, we as the audience know she's a different actor, but the characters don't know it's a different girl. It's weird. I always thought it was clever, though. Anyway, I've been rambling too long. I think I ran out of things to talk about. So anyway, yeah, I've been Michael of the Golden State Kings. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.